Welcome everyone to Stafford Speedway. It is week 4 of 2024 and it's headlined by the Monaco Ford SK Light Double Down 40-lap main event. So we'll start the pit preview in the SK Light modified pits, and Kyle standing by with a driver who scored 2 top 5 finishes last Friday.
And Bond's able to catch up with the driver in the SK Light modified division that was able to bounce back in a big way last week with not 1 but 2 top 5 finishes in Meg Fuller. Hard hit on opening week, but back-to-back top 5 finishes last week. How'd it feel? How's the car out there for 40 laps?
Definitely unfortunate events the first week with that hard hit. Coming back last week with 2 top 5 finishes, I felt really good. We were super excited when we got 5th in the first one because there wasn't a scratch on the car and we had to go back out. And then to follow it up with another 4th place finish, so that was pretty good. Our car wasn't the best on the outside, however, that's okay. 2 top 5 finishes, we're not going to complain. And, you know, usually in the 40-lap races, we do pretty well, so I'm pretty excited for tonight.
Why do you think that is? 2 top 10s in these 40-lappers last week. How do you pace yourself differently? How do you approach these races compared to the normal 20-lapper?
I usually take the first 20 laps pretty easy and then treat the second half of the race as if it's the regular race. And I try to save my tires, so, you know.
Rate the competition out there. Obviously, everyone's chasing Tyler Chapman. He's tough to beat, but just the competition in general. 40 of you guys out there. What's it like being in the middle of it?
Being in the middle of it is scary, but having 35, 40 cars out there pretty much weekly, I think we have one of the best competitions around here. So I love the car count, and it's definitely tough competition.
Best luck to you out there tonight.
Thank you.
That's Meg Fuller looking for her first win of the year, coming off her first career SK Light win last August. Now let's go to a driver looking for his first win, period, here at Stafford Motor Speedway in the SK Lights with Bonza.
Kyle, making a return to the SK Light Modifieds is Peter Bennett. He raced for the most part in 2020. You took some time off, now you're back. Before we talk about the racing, where you been?
Well, I bought a house and I got married about 2 weeks ago. So, you know, I've been busy, you know, checking off all the major life events. You know, enjoyed my time off, but certainly excited to be back here at Stafford.
Well, congratulations. Welcome back. 3 races in. How do you feel about this car, and how do you feel as a driver shaking the rust off?
Yeah, I'm super excited about the car. It's been very fast. We showed really good speed. There's a little bit of rust on the car that we got to shake off still. I was hoping to shake that all off in practice on practice day, but unfortunately, we had a couple hiccups in some of the features this year, but if we can shake off just those little things with the car, I think we can, you know, really put on a show and compete for a win, hopefully.
How do you approach the 40-lappers compared to a 20-lapper?
It's going to be tough. You know, we're not used to running more than 20 laps, so, you know, I think that this car has been really good on the long run so far at about 15 to 20 laps at the end of our features, so I'm not going to change too much, just put a little bit more fuel in it, and, you know, hopefully we get a long green run, and I think that's really going to come into play for us.
Now, since 2020, the competition in this division has changed. The field size has changed. What is it like now being in this field today?
It's tough. You know, it's tough. I mean, you know, on any given day, we know, 10, 15 cars can win. Unfortunately, Tyler Chapman's kind of been stinking up the show a little bit, of course. You know, congrats to him, 5 in a row. But, you know, he's got to get knocked off eventually, so why not the 50?
You got a 6 last week. You had 2 top 10s last week. What more do you need for a podium, maybe even a victory?
We just got to put a full day together. You know, I'm very confident coming into this year. My wife said that my decision-making has been very intentional this year, and I think that we're just carrying a little bit of a confidence with us going forward. The car's been fast, so just really looking forward to today.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
That's Peter Bennett. He's been very busy, as you can tell, over the last few seasons, but he's back and looking for another good run in the SK Lights during their 40-lap main event. Now we're going to go to the SKs, where Kyle's standing by with a driver who scored a couple top 5s so far this season.
And Bonza in the SK Modifieds, Marcello Refrano has been among the top 5 in 2 of the first 3 races of the season, including a top 5 a week ago. How would you kind of sum up the first 3 weeks of your season on the racetrack?
Pretty good, fair. I mean, definitely would like to be better. That's why we spent a lot of the day here testing, trying to get better. We did some things during the off season to try and keep up with the competition, and it actually kind of hurt us. So we just kind of put it back to the way it was last year, and we're really right back in our ballpark. So I think we'll be in pretty good shape the next couple of weeks. Just you know, you got to stay on top of it. Just it really seems like with this new tire game now, it's really leveled the competition, and as you've seen like last week, it's chaos. So, you know, like I said, we're just trying to stay on top of our game and really trying to repeat what we've always been doing. Just like I said, trying to get better.
You call it chaos. It's very intense to call from the booth. Fun to watch. Yeah. How is it from your seat?
I mean, it's a great deal of fun. I guess you could say that. No, I mean, like, you're going to get that. I mean, you got guys that are running up front, and, not necessarily that they shouldn't be there, but, like, it's really, the competition is so widespread now. It's just, like, guys are trying to get wins, and they're trying to really, like, put their name out there, and, really can't blame them for doing what they're doing. But just, it's definitely a lot crazier than it used to be. It's just, it seems like, you had those 1 or 2 or 3 cars that were always consistently good up front, and now it's kind of throwing mixed berries in there. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It just makes us work a little bit harder and trying to be, a little bit more patient. Just, I think you'll see in the next couple of weeks. I don't think it'll die down, but I just think everyone will try and figure it out.
You mentioned earlier today you were on the racetrack practicing, more practice, and then the heat race, the feature later tonight. We're at a time of year where the temperature can really have a big swing with the sun being out now in the heat of the day, and then by feature time, it's cooled off. How does that affect the racetrack?
A lot. The first couple of races, I kind of take them with a grain of salt because you don't know what you're going to get. At least everyone knows what they're getting when they come here for the first race of the year, and just every race after that, you kind of work off of a notebook, not necessarily, taking it, to consideration that, you're going to get temperature change. It's going to change the track drastically, especially when you go into your nighttime stuff. I mean, what you run during the day and what you run at night is completely different. So just, trying to stay on top of that. That's why you stay on top of your notes too, because I mean, a lot of it comes down to how good your notes are and, where you need to be. I mean, I'm pretty liberal about it. I mean, I kind of know going into each week, how the car was on this specific night with this temperature and what the track was kind of giving me. So it kind of pays to, like I said, keep your notes and just stay on top of it, because if you don't, then you're going kind of blind. So we'll be in pretty good shape. I mean, I think the test today probably is going to help us a lot, but I mean, we're learning with the track that's kind of not going to be what we're dealing with tonight. So we'll be good.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
It's Marcello Alfano coming off a top 5 finish last Friday night, looking for his first win of the season here in tonight's 40-lap feature event. Now let's go to the late model pits and hear from another driver looking for their first win of the season.
One of the quiet, consistent runners in the late models early on is Cliff Saunders in the 14 team. And to say consistency is an understatement, because 3 races, 3 fourth-place finishes. It's been a couple years since you've raced here at Stafford. How's the car been for you? It's a brand new piece.
Car's been great. Actually, really exceeded my expectations. I knew the car was going to be really good, but I felt like it was going to take me a month or so to get, back up the speed, back used to racing. But it was comfortable right away, and the car's been really good, so I've been able to get 3 top 5s in a row.
Now, as a driver, how have you felt getting back to racing on a weekly basis? Do you think that all the rust is shaken off, or is there still more from you?
I think maybe there's still a little bit more, but I felt like rust is pretty much off. Felt comfortable right away.
And then with this car, what more do you need to get on the podium? You got 3 fourths. You're battling for the win a couple weeks ago. What more do you need to get back on the podium?
I think maybe just a clean race and just stay consistent. Get a little more consistent with our tires. Also, just chasing that a little bit. Not being able to get the sets exactly the way we want them, but just car's been really good, so we haven't really been having to make any adjustments.
What have you noticed with the competition compared to 3 years ago?
Competition's pretty tough. Everyone's really fast. We really got to be on it every week to be able to be competitive, and just really just got to pay attention to make sure we got our car as good as we can get it and come to the track prepared.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
That's Cliff Saunders looking for another good run, his first podium of the year possibly, even a trip to victory lane. It's been a couple years. He has a late model win. He's looking for another. Now we're going to go to the limited late models where Kyle's standing by with our most recent winner.
Bonza, many of us didn't know it at the time, but it was a pretty special and emotional win last week for RJ Serdell in the limited late models, not just because it was his first trip to victory lane in 7 years, but you had quite the week in the shop leading up to race day last Friday. Kind of walk us through what exactly happened in everything that happened before getting to the track.
Well, yeah, on Monday prior to the track on Friday, I actually was scaling the car, and I always put it on scale pads. I put it on the night before, and then I normally double check. Well, I had Trinity and Tara in the shop. They're working on their car, and I was kind of complacent, and I didn't recheck to make sure it was in gear. I had slid underneath, and I was all the way up underneath the engine, wiping it down, doing my measurements, all the geometry that we have to do in the front end, making sure it's correct. And then I slid to the rear, and that's when I noticed a dry shaft move, and I said, wow, this thing's moving. And then I looked over, and the right rear is about to roll on me, and I'm pushing against the right rear, and it slid me over more, but the car landed on my chest. The muffler pushed down on my chest and pinned me down. It caused a big bruising and a big, huge blood blister from it, and then the frame landed on my hip and cut the circulation off on down on my legs. I really couldn't feel my legs at the time. It took about 2 hours to get the feeling back in my legs. So I have a big bruise down on the side of my hip and across my waist, and thankfully, Tara and Trinity were there because they're the ones that jacked up the car. I tried to stay as calm as possible, but I was having a hard time breathing. It was pushing down on my chest pretty hard. When got checked out, they said, good thing I have really strong bones. I'm like, yeah, good thing I eat a lot of cheese.
No doubt had to be one of the scariest moments of your life, but then you bounce back Friday night and have a race-winning car for 20 laps. So at what point during the day did you realize, hey, we could do this here tonight?
When I got the checkered flag. I pretty much was in a lot of pain. My chest was killing me. I'm pretty sure you could hear it in my voice. It sounded like I smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, and I don't smoke. But it was, I was just hurting. And getting all those restarts, I was just hanging on, And when I got out of the car, it was just a relief. I was in victory lane, and all the pain went away. I don't know what it was, but it made me drive better, drive harder. I don't know what it was, but it worked.
Believe in momentum, and can that continue into tonight, maybe becoming the first repeat winner in the division this season?
I will sure try. I will do. And then, I'd like to. That would be great. But we do have a good momentum going. We did start hitting the top of the charts last week, and then we were second fastest in the feature. So, I can't complain. Rob Russell's been doing a really good job on this car. He helps me out a lot, gives me a lot of things to try out, so we do it. And it's been going very well. So I hope I can repeat tonight for it.
Hopefully less pain tonight for RJ Serdell. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You'll be looking for 2 in a row in the limited late model feature coming up here later on this evening. Now let's go back to Bonza in the street stock pit.
Kyle, Jason Raymond scored a top 5 finish this season in his sophomore campaign in the street stock division. So Jason, so far, you learned a lot from last year. You finished 8th in the points. This year, how have you felt about the car so far?
I feel like I'm off a little bit. I feel like everybody gained stuff over the offseason. I kind of just stayed roughly the same. We've been battling a little bit, but we found some more things. Hopefully we're back to what we were at the end of last year where we got the podium.
What more do you need handling-wise on this car to fight up there and get another top 5 or maybe that podium? You got one last year.
I just need the car to stay consistent. That's the thing. It started off a little tight, then it'd get good, and then it'd get loose, and then it'd get tight again. So I don't really know. It's just kind of been all over the place so far. So hopefully we can find the consistency in the setup and get back to where we were.
How's the body? It's been banged up a little bit over the last couple weeks.
Not as bad as I thought. I mean, it's got a little dents here and there, a couple donuts, but it's still pretty straight for the most part.
Now, it's going to be really hot when you guys go out. You're the second feature of the day. It's the hottest it's been all season. How do you think the track's going to be for y'all?
I'm not really sure. It could either be completely off with the car setup, or we could be spot on. I know the setup we put in was kind of where we were, the third place, where it was kind of hot. So hopefully it's back to what it was, and we can fight up front again in the middle of the pack.
We'll have fun tonight.
Thank you.
That's Jason Raymond looking for his second top 5, maybe first podium of 2024 in tonight's street stock feature. It's time to go racing with the Monaco Ford SK Light Double Down headlining the action, and Ben Dodge is on the call.
Well, once again, good evening and welcome to the show. Tonight, big night here at the Speedway for the SK Lights, a long-distance event of 40 laps, all being presented in part by the good folks at Monaco Ford, with 2 convenient locations to serve you better, one in Glastonbury, Connecticut for over 100 years, and a second location in Niantic. We are proud to have Monaco Ford with us, providing us with the safety vehicles used here at the Speedway. We welcome each and every one of you to another picture-perfect night of racing here at the half mile. There's been a lot of testing going on. You heard it in the previews. For some, it was a good afternoon of getting their cars faster. For others, it was a situation that resulted in some, hardships cases that came to the test. And among those was Sammy Anderson, who met with misfortune with a brand new race car here in practice today.
I had a stuck throttle earlier today in practice, and we'll go to a backup car in that 21 team, so we'll talk more about her and the rest of the SK Light competitors as the afternoon goes on. As you mentioned, it is the Monaco Ford Double Down. 40 laps, the longest race of the year for the division. I guess the big question is, can anybody stop Tyler Chapman? He is on a roll right now with 5 consecutive wins dating back to the last couple of races from last year and the first 3 events of 2024.
You know, earlier we saw a lot of these drivers. They made the statement that we know what our cars do in 20 laps. We know you have to be up in the wheel each and every circuit. But 40 laps gives us the opportunity to come from the back of the pack to the front. Will that change the whole strategy for this evening's presentation? We remind you that just around the corner coming up here at the Speedway is, of course, AZ Roofing Kids Night on Friday, May 31st. of course, and we welcome all of the youngsters to the program, and then the open modified racing. But right now, our retention shifts to turn number 4. Here's Kyle Rickey with his starting lineup.
Limited late model heat race number 1 coming out onto the racetrack. Starting on the pole, car number 28, a former champion of this division from Tolland, Connecticut, the Wheelers Auto Parts Napa car for the number 28 of Rich Hammond.
Outside row number 1, the Bears Cleaning Service, number 74 from Springfield, Vermont, Matt Winters second.
Third starter, car number 83 from Wellington, Connecticut, Rob Russell Chassis to bring us R.J. Serdell.
And then outside of that row, driving car number 19, it will be Adrian Paradis from Plainville, Connecticut, driving, of course, the CSB Communications car.
Fifth starter, car number 78 from right here in Stafford Springs, the Regency Fireplace Products car for Mike Hopkins.
Then it's the ARI Spray Foam car number 9 from Canton, Connecticut, Connor Jensen.
Another one of those drivers that had a moment in practice earlier today, the driver of car number 5 to start in the 7th spot from Wellington, Connecticut, the DKV Motorsports car for Daryl Vertifay.
Utility Service of New England brings us the 8th starter to the field, car number 18 from Wethersfield, Connecticut. It is Scott Clement. That is your starting lineup, 8 laps. 5 cars to be among the preferred starting spots to be starting up front in the competition here for tonight's main event. As the field heads down the back straightaway, lights on the pace car and lights around the oval are provided by Wheeland Engineering. First name in lights, sirens, and safety services used throughout the world. Remember, this evening's program and all the programs here at Stafford are brought to you by your local Napa Auto Parts store. Get up and go. Look for the Napa Blue, Gold, and White, like our Tolland store and our Stafford store, owned by the Wheeler family. Here they come. Here's Kyle Rickey with round number 1.
Rich Hammond looking for his first feature win of the season. Leads them down into turn number 1 for the first time. Last week's feature winner, R.J. Serdell, there in the 2nd spot in car number 83 as they go off of turn 2 and up the backstretch for the first time in this opening qualifying event of the night.
Already the battle is on. R.J. Serdell showed that his confidence is up. He moves to contend to the outside, takes over second, and here comes Hopkins. Hopkins making his presence known as the racing action still continues. Rumbling down the back straightaway, it is still car number 28 for Rich Hammond, showing his talent once again.
Adrian Paradis up to position number 4, still looking for his first win in this division. Has been so close so many times. Couldn't it tonight be the night? Right now running in 4th in the blue and white number 19, going through your screen right now behind the 78 of Hopkins and the 83 of Serdell from 2nd on back.
Meanwhile, while that's all been happening, Clement is starting to thread the needle a little bit, getting used to things. Off the turn, back up front, bid for the 3rd position. Paradis all over the back bumper of Hopkins, takes it down into turn number 1. Paradis, the blue and white car to the right of your screen, running in the tire tracks of Hopkins. Meanwhile, R.J. Serdell setting up front.
Losing a bit of ground to the number 28 of Rich Hammond, who is the race leader, and beginning to pull away halfway through this qualifying event. Hammond had a 1.2 second lead last time by. Interval about the same this time. Back to Serdell, who leads that pack from 2nd on back. Hopkins in 3rd, Paradis in 4th, Matthew Winter the 2nd. They're in 5th in car number 74 as they come back off the corner. The number 9 having a good run. And Connor Jensen has had a tough time with that car mechanically the first 3 races of the season. Currently in the 6th spot, but the laps he's getting right now are better than what we have seen the last couple of weeks. Nice to see that number 9 at speed on the track as the caution comes out.
Caution flag comes out in the field. Minor spin off turn number 4 to the bottom of the racetrack. And that is Vertifay with car number 5. So we'll tighten the field back up. 6 of the 8 laps now into the record books. And this is the first of the qualifying events.
It's had a tough time navigating turns 3 and 4 today. We saw a spin by Daryl in practice just a little bit ago in the final limited late model practice session. And around he goes here on lap number 5. Minimal, doesn't look like any damage on that car, and he is able to continue on. We'll re-rack the field and try it again for heat race number 1 on the night for the limited late models.
No question about that. And Rich Hammond has been the driving force at the front of the field. So it looks like the field being told to cross over as we speak, as it appears that we are about ready to cross him back over and get him fired right back up.
Double the field up this time by. Get the one to go signal. 3 laps to settle it between Hammond, former champion, car number 28, won the title in this class 2 years ago. Still looking for his first win of 2024. We've had 3 different winners in the first 3 races in this division. Very competitive class of cars here for the limited late models. Lined up, ready to go. Hammond on pole. One of those 3 winners in that outside of the front row, R.J. Surdell, heard from him just a bit ago. Green is up, and we are underway as they go back to turn number 1. And Hammond's out front by about a half a car length. Inside lane advances.
No question about it. To the bottom of the racetrack, Hopkins tries to make the move, and as he tries to head into the second spot, he does it with ease, he does it with style. Behind him, R.J. Surdell gets shuffled all the way back as, once again, we continue to watch the action at the front pack of cars. Meanwhile, 5 qualify in the transfer position for the handicap as they work their magic and head back into turn number 3. This time, the white flag is out, 1 lap to go.
1 lap to go for Hammond as they come back off the corner, and he picks up right where he left off earlier in this event, and that is at the front of the field. As they race back to turn number 2 for the final time, Hammond, Hopkins now in second, Paradise third, Winter in fourth. Surdell has fallen back to 5th in that 83.
That's the top 5, and that's the where you want to be. Rich Hammond shows why. He's a former champion. Hammond will take down the impressive victory. Hopkins will finish in the runner-up position. Meanwhile, Adrian Paradis will finish in 3rd. Matt Winters will round out the top 4. But Kyle, the final transfer position is?
R.J. Surdell in position number 5, getting shuffled on that restart with 3 to go in the 83 car. Then it was Connor Jensick in 6th, Daryl Fertifay in 7th, and Scott Clement rounding out the 8-car field. Heat race number 2 will head back out onto the racetrack here in just a moment for the second half of this division's qualifying events.
And once again, we're about ready to get them fired back up as they're about ready to come onto the racetrack in this Monaco Ford night here at the Speedway. Round number 2 will see the following 8 laps, 5 cars to transfer. Car number 22 will be starting right up front, the GP Fence Machine from New Hartford, Connecticut. It is Gary Patno.
Outside of the front row, car number 23 from Canton, Connecticut, the Genco construction car for Devin Jensick, one of the winners from this season already.
Row number 2 to the inside will be the Rosati, former multiple championship car number 6 from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, Jeremy Lavoie.
Car 24 goes to the outside of row number 2. From Three Rivers, Massachusetts, the Theriault racing car for Kyle Theriault.
Mr. Consistency starts in the 5th starting spot. Car number 59, the Utility Service of New England car. From Wethersfield, Connecticut, Matt Clement.
Car number 82 goes next from Pasco, Rhode Island, the Mertz Racing Enterprises car. The 82 is Samantha Dell.
And starting scratch in the event will be car number 07, the Terra Martellone car, the LeBeau rubbish removal car. From Holland, Mass, it is Trinity Provost. That is your starting lineup. Second qualifying round for the limited late model division. If you've just joined us, good evening and welcome to our show. We remind you tonight is a big night here at the Speedway. And of course, it is an extra distance event of 40 circuits.
And an autograph session with our SK Light modified competitors down on the Midway, coming up right after opening ceremonies and during the limited late model feature event, and right before the street stocks, the SK Light modified drivers will be ready to meet you, the fans. There's a bunch of them, over 30 on hand here this evening. Heard from them a couple of moments ago in our preview show with Peter Bennett and Megan Fuller, and they'll be joined out there by a full field of competitors here later tonight for 40 laps. That, of course, following the autograph session coming up during right after opening ceremonies as the field comes off turn 4.
Well, we're about ready to get him fired up in this second round. Pat Note on the inside, Devin Jensick making his presence known in the upper groove. Jensick winds it up tight off turn number 2, heads down the back straightaway, side by side, wheel to wheel. Here comes Lavoie, the red car, moving into the 3rd position. Lavoie is there. He tries to follow Pat Note through. Will it happen off turn 4?
Pat Note to the inside, Jensick to the outside lane. Lavoie right there, tucked in 3rd in the red number 6 as they go to turn number 2. Inside lane to prevail. Pat Note out front by a car length. Here comes Lavoie to the inside to challenge for the top spot in 3.
No question about it. The Ford is racy tonight. To the inside, challenging on the bottom. Off turn number 4, it is Lavoie. Pedal to the metal. Pat Note giving it his all. Side by side, wheel to wheel. Off the 2nd turn. Bottom shot move. Here comes Lavoie. And right there with him, the tail that wags the dog, all of a sudden is Matt Clement. Clement has shot from the middle of the pack. He is coming to the front. Already been the victory lane this season so far.
Opening day winner last month for car number 59, Matt Clement, current championship point leader, still early in the season. Looking for the lead on the defending track champion, 3-time champion, Jeremy Lavoie, as he leads up the backstretch, coming to halfway, this time by.
No question about it. Top 5 cars run nose to tail as they come back to the line. Lavoie's car starts to loosen up just a bit. Clement pulls it back into formation. Bottom of turn number 1, Clement, the 59 car, looks for an opening down underneath Lavoie. These are 2 of the very best in this division. Going, gone. It is Clement who takes over the lead. Lavoie bounces back to 2nd, and then Devin Jensick up on his back bumper as they come to the line.
And Jensick's been slowly but surely closing in on those top 2 the last few times by. Clement remains the race leader now, getting past Lavoie a moment ago, and Jeremy's falling into the clutches of Devin Jensick right now in a race for 2nd. Lavoie slides up high in that number 6, and here comes Jensick in the 23, right to the bottom of the racetrack, off of turn number 4, and at the same time, Clement just pulling away from the field in the 59.
There's no question about it. He is able to get the bite to the bottom. Jensick moves in, takes over 2nd. Lavoie had a car that was good in the first half of this qualifying event. Let's see what's going to happen as they come back to the stripe. The white flag is out. Lavoie still trying to work over and get that position back from Jensick. Turn 1, bottom of the racetrack. Lavoie is there, can't do it. Jensick still in command of 2nd. Out in front, Matt Clement in a zone of his own on the final circuit.
Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time in this 2nd and final limited late model qualifying heat race. Matt Clement comes off the corner and will see the checkered flag and claim the win over Devin Jensick in 2nd, Jeremy Lavoie in 3rd, and Gary Pat Note 4th.
And then it'll be Kyle Thiault finishing in the 5th spot. Samantha Dell will finish in 6th, and Trinity Provost to round out the top 7. Well, the limited late model qualifying is all but history. Coming up next will be our street stock division. 2 qualifying rounds are set to come onto the racetrack. And in the first qualifying round, it appears that as they start to come out, it'll be car number 13 from Stafford Springs, the Charlie's Towing Company car for Matt Martell.
And his outside will be car number 71 from Stamford, Connecticut, the Rico's Pizza LaJoyce Auto Wrecking car for Marvin Minkler.
Row number 2 to the inside, the Roy's Auto Service Vanish Valley Brewing Company car from Belchertown, Mass. It's car 69 for Bill Cody.
4th starter, last week's runner-up finisher, car number 84 from Ellington, Connecticut, American Sign to bring us Burt Willett.
Car number 21 is up next. That's the Tri-State Equipment Repair car from Summers, Connecticut. He'll start back in 5th, Jason Lafayette.
6th starter, car number 37 from Columbia, Connecticut, the Maine Moose, and Charlie's Towing, the entry for David Macias Sr.
7th starting position, the Hydar Construction. Number 11 from Woodbury, Connecticut, Travis Hydar.
8th starter, car number 88 from Manchester, Connecticut, Ricky Breen Painting, the entry for Kyle Johnson.
And starting in the final row, in the 9th starting position is car number 2, the Planchon Management Solutions car from Griswold, Connecticut, Ashton Young.
And rounding out the 10 drivers on the racetrack, car number 22 from Cranston, Rhode Island, a rent-a-race car for Nick Ulrich.
So there you have, there is our starting lineup for our first qualifying round of 2 for the Street Stock Division. All of this brought to you by your friends at Monaco Ford. Monaco Ford in Glastonbury, Connecticut. Over 100 years in the car business. And don't forget the 11th annual car show that is coming up on June 20th, on Thursday. And it is being held at the Irish American Home Society on 132 Commerce Street in Glastonbury, Connecticut. We certainly hope that you'll be stopping by to see this. There will be a big raffle, community function with music, food, awards, all makes and models, and you can bring your special interest car or your race car. And the folks at Monaco Ford would love to see you there. Kyle?
Set to go green here in heat race number 1 for the street stocks, that is. Matt Martell on the front row. Marvin Minkler to the outside. Lined up, ready to go. Missing one. Do not see the 88 on the racetrack for Kyle Johnson. Green flag is up, and we are underway as they go back to the corner for the first time. Martell, but Minkler outbreaks him just a bit. Little contact there at the front of the field upon breaking into turn number 1, and Minkler comes out on top as they hit the backstretch.
Marvin Minkler hasn't had much luck at all as he continues to be strong in qualifying. He sets the pace off the turn out in front by about 2 car lengths. Meanwhile, in the runner-up position, it is Bert Ouellette. Ouellette turned some heads last week in the feature event. Now he's got a spot in second. He's not done yet. Cody, now car 69, is into the 3rd position. But the guy to watch, the big dog in this division, and there are several, Travis Hydar with car number 11, rim riding to the inside, Kyle.
Trying to take that spot away from Cody for 3rd. Cody in the 69, Hydar in the number 11, and passes with ease as they get to turn number 1 off the corner, and already is able to break away by a couple of car lengths and go to work on a race for 2nd. Bert Ouellette slides up high, and Travis Hydar making it look easy so far in this qualifying event. Can he reel in Marvin Minkler, the race leader, in car 71?
There's no question about it. He's picking up the pace, and he is moving in. Marvin Minkler can see that car number 11 is coming. The purple and yellow machine glued to the back bumper of a Tribute car for Marvin Minkler, a big fan of racing at the old Danbury Race Arena, a LaJoy copy of the old 711, and here comes the challenge. Hydar muscles his way to the bottom, makes it look so easy. Going, gone. It is Travis Hydar out in front. A familiar spot for car number 11 so far this season.
Coming off turn 4, checkered flag this time by 5-lap heat races for the street stocks. And at the end of lap 5, it is Travis Hydar with the fastest lap of the event, taking the win over Marvin Minkler in 2nd, Bert Ouellette in 3rd, Bill Cody 4th, and Jason Lafayette rounding out the front 5.
Out of the handicap will be Matt Martell finishing in the 6th spot, David Masha finishing in the 7th spot, Ashton Young for 8th, and Nick Ulrich to round out the top 9. So the first street stock qualifier is all but over. Coming onto the racetrack next is round number 2. And Chris Danielchuk out of Goshen, Connecticut, with a rent-a-race car machine, will be starting on the inside of row number 1.
Outside of the front row will be car number 15 from Ware, Massachusetts, the Rose Brothers Garage entry for Sean Petlock.
Row number 2 to the inside, the Barn Package Store, number 49. From Somers, Connecticut, Jason Raymond.
4th starter, car number 7 from Granby, Massachusetts, the Safeco Foam Dryer Vent Cleaning Company entry for Jeff Aslan.
Here's another guy to keep your eyes on, the JHS Restoration, number 80, out of East Hartford, Connecticut, Tyler Trott.
Car number 42 goes to the outside of row number 3 from Barkhamsted, Connecticut, the PJ Ladola and Sons Electrical Contractors car for Travis Downey.
Tech Roofing SK Property Management brings us car number 55 from Chicopee, Massachusetts, Brandon Warren.
8th starter, car number 51 from Enfield, Connecticut, Jet Electric, the sponsorship for Garrett Pease.
5 rows back, 9th starting position, car number 17, the Avery Racing car from North Windham, Connecticut, Jonathan Avery.
And rounding out the top 10, car number 26 from East Hartford, Connecticut, the Prime Molding Technologies car for Steve Laprise.
We remind you, this is our 4th qualifier. This is the 2nd qualifying event in the street stock division. Field still single file. They'll receive the crossover from the starter stand. And that We'll double the field up, and we should be ready to fire this one up.
Little bit of history in this division. A week ago, Ben, with Travis Haidar becoming the all-time winningest driver with his 21st checkered flag. He is currently third in the championship standings coming into tonight. A lot of people have been talking about the Haidar-Waterman battle. Ryan Waterman not with us here this evening.
You know, we thought at the start of the season, last year he said he wasn't going to be a regular each and every Friday night. He proved that wrong. He came back. This year, he said the same thing. Tonight, he is out of the program, and that will, give the controversy a little bit of cool down time. But right now, there's nothing to be cooling these competitors as they're about ready to fire them back up, and they are under speed.
Outside lane does not come up to speed, led by Sean Petlock as they go to turn number 1. It is Daniel Chuck out front in turn number 2 at the front of the field, but he's about to have company. Here comes Jason Raymond, that green number 49. Back to the corner they go, and Raymond going to stuff it right down to the inside of the racetrack off turn 4.
Raymond does a great job holding the car to the bottom of the racetrack. The inside lane looks like a conga line. Sean Petlock right there. Jeff Aslan, the number 7 car, working his way into the hunt. 5 cars, no, make it 6 cars now, because Travis Downey is showing he's the talent that he is. He's threading the needle. Back up front, side by side. Daniel Chuck up the hill, loses 3 positions there.
Back to the line they come. Raymond will be scored as the race leader in the outside lane, but Tyler Trott digging to the inside. To the race lead he goes off of turn number 2. Aslan to follow him up to 2nd. Here comes Travis Downey now in 3rd in car number 42.
Travis Downey's a guy to watch. He is glued to the back bumper of Jeff Aslan in the number 6 car. They work their magic off the turn. 2 laps to go in this event. Jeff Aslan is there, down through the infield. Car number 17, Jonathan Avery, fires it back up front. Fire of a different type. Here comes the number 42 of Travis Downey, reeling in on the back bumper of Jeff Aslan. Tyler Trott still the leader of the pack. White flag is out.
Trott's been close to victory lane, looking for that first win of the year here tonight. It's been a while for Tyler. He leads this qualifying event now off of turn 2. Jeff Aslan's been on the podium the last 2 weeks in car number 7. He too looking for his first win. Car number 42 has been there already this season, including a couple of weeks ago on May 10th for Travis Downey, running in 3rd. Checkered flag is up. Qualifying race number 2 is over, and Tyler Trott to pick up the win over Jeff Aslan in 2nd, Travis Downey in 3rd, Jason Raymond 4th, and Sean Petlock 5th.
Out of the handicap preferred spot in the 6th position, Brandon Warren, car 55, Garrett Pease to finish in 7th, and then it is Steve LaPrice to finish in 8th. Chris Daniel Chuck was 9th, and Jonathan Avery to round out the top 10. Next in the field, 2 qualifying rounds for the late model division as they will be heading onto the racetrack as we speak. In this first qualifying round, starting at the point, it'll be car number 97. This gentleman's had a string of bad luck this season. The Metal Motor Cars, number 97, from Granby, Massachusetts, Adam Gray.
To his outside, car number 12 from Hamden, Massachusetts, the Safeco foam car for Alexandra Fern.
Row number 2 to the inside, the Litchfield County Marine car. From Morris, Connecticut, car 20, PJ Zarella.
Starting in 4th, car number 43 from Chicopee, Massachusetts, the Dazed Cannabis car for Andrew Durand.
Here's a young man's having a good season start, driving the American sleeve bearing, number 40 from Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Welcome, if you would, Al Saunders.
6th starter, car number 10 from Fairfield, Connecticut, the Springfield Thunderbirds entry for Wayne Corey Jr.
In the 7th starting spot, keep your eyes on the Tavern on the Tracks machine. From Berlin, Connecticut, he's been consistent in getting faster each and every time out. Paul Verrecchio Jr., car 39.
And rounding out the 8-car field, the 00 from Agawam, Massachusetts, the Northeastern Sheet Metal car for Kevin Cormier.
So there you have it. 8 laps is the distance.
Interesting on the racetrack, Ben, Adam Gray, who is scheduled to start on the front row in car number 97, it looks like has dropped to the tail end of the field, and he's back there with the number 12 of Alex Fern. That is the scheduled front row, and right now they are looking to be the last row as the field gets the 1-to-go signal.
Very interesting because during the test session here today, both of these competitors were here setting up their cars in preparation for tonight's event. They did not come out for a lot of practice in the evening program. So let's see, maybe this is part of their strategy. Save their tires, save their equipment, or maybe this is the way that they have things played out, that they want to see how their car will work in traffic as it will be able to head to the front of this field. We remind you on the starter stand for this evening's presentation, Mike Helberg, Craig Merriman is the assistant backup starter, as we welcome both of those gentlemen. And of course, the gentleman in charge, the director of race operations, Mr. Tommy Fox, highly respected as one of the best in the business. Race director, Chris Gambado, and the assistant race director is Chris Still. So there you have it. Judy Clinny and Russ Smith, the official scorers for the competition here. And of course, Julie Windsor in the paddock area, along with Kim Brooks. And our pace driver is a former racer himself, Tony LaFoe.
Pace vehicle up the back straightaway now, about to head to the pit lane. So that'll move PJ Zarella to the pole in car number 20. Andrew Duran to the outside of the front row in the 43. Then it will be Al Saunders and Wayne Corey in row number 2. As this is heat race number 1 for the late models, coming to the green flag. There it is from the starter stand, and Andrew Duran gets the jump in car number 43.
Duran, Bam Bam Duran, is looking racy at the point. A week ago, he had a very good run for himself, but late in the event, the car kind of got evil. Keep your eyes on the 10 now of Wayne Corey Jr. He's back in the 3rd position. Red and white car, PJ Zarilla. He'll tell you, this hasn't been his best year. He's setting in the 2nd spot, but all of a sudden, here comes the 40. Al Saunders, a kid that grew up down the street from the Speedway, who has graduated from every division up through the ranks, and he is looking very strong as well.
Here they come off of turn 4, keeping an eye on Alex Fern in the 12 and the 97. Further back for Adam Gray. Fern moving around Cormier a moment ago in the 00 for the 6th spot, as they're all chasing Andrew Duran and losing ground as Zarella is there in 2nd. Saunders has closed that gap. He runs in 3rd. Another length back to Corey and Verrecchio, who has been so strong as of late in that 39 car. That car to him turns a year old here either this week or next. It's right around the end of May, and has done well for him in the year since. A couple of runner-up finishes this year, and finally get that first checkered flag.
Now, interestingly enough, Alexander Fern, she is in a handicapped spot. 6 is the number here. But as I say that, Adam Gray's car drops off the pace, and Gray now heads down on pit road. The bad luck continues for the Adam Gray operation as he is out of this event. Back up front, you're looking at the bid for 2nd. PJ Zarella, 20 car, black and white machine, holding off the green number 40 of Al Saunders. Saunders reels him in, bottom of turn number 1. PJ Zarella guards the spot, keeps it to the inside. Off the turn, here comes Saunders.
Saunders within a car length now of Zarella, well behind Duran, the race leader. Verrecchio closing in to make that a 3-way battle from 2nd on back with just a couple laps to go as they go back to turn number 1. Duran continuing to tiptoe away at the point now by 1.1 seconds over Zarella in 2nd. And then it's Saunders and Verrecchio.
The white flag has been given, but nobody is surrendering in the battle from 2nd on back. As the white flag comes out, 1 lap to go. Back to 2nd. It's a freight train, 3 of the best in the division. PJ Zarella trying to shake off Saunders and Verrecchio. A lot of people have been watching Verrecchio in the paddock area. But here comes the checker, Kyle, off turn 4.
Here they come off of turn number 4. Andrew Duran will pick up the win. Zarella in 2nd, Al Saunders in 3rd, Paul Verrecchio 4th, Wayne Corey in 5th.
6th position, good for a transfer in the handicap. Alexander Fern, Kevin Cormier is 7th, And Adam Gray with a problem. We saw one of the officials looking underneath the number 97 car. Not a good indication. He has just had a terrible start to this season. Second late model qualifying event, it'll be car number 92, the King Gray Coach Lines machine for another man who can say he's a multiple champion here at Stafford. Driving the number 92 from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, it is Tommy Fern.
And his outside, the 07 from Belchertown, Massachusetts, the Tom O'Sullivan welding-sponsored car for Chris Buffoni.
A6A Associates, Tri-State Elevator and Hoist brings us car number 9. This is the Stirk Motorsports car from Naugatuck, Connecticut, Bobby Stirk III.
Fourth starter, car number 4 from right here in Stafford Springs, the Square Peg Pizzeria entry for Tom Butler.
Here's a kid that's been doing a great job. The Mayday Oil Machine from North Franklin, Connecticut, car number 87. Starts 5th in the field. It is Chris Meyer.
Sixth starter, car number 14 from right here in Stafford Springs, the Rose Brothers Garage entry for Cliff Saunders.
Let's take a look at the final row, starting in the 7th spot, the Green Knoll Landscaping car. Car number 2 from Monroe, Connecticut for Dwayne Knoll.
Eighth starter, the defending champion of this division and also the winner of the last 2 feature events. Car number 23 from Ellington, Connecticut, the Levine Law sponsored car for Kevin Gambacorda.
So there you have it, our second qualifying round in the late model division. Tom Fern has also been off to a tough start. But of course, the big dog in this division is Kevin Gambacorda, the VFR chassis number 23 car. With Kevin's talent, he's been able to come to the front of the field, overcoming some obstacles this season, even though he's a defending champion in the class as well.
The only driver in the history of this racetrack to win championships in 3 different divisions. They are all the defender divisions here at Stafford. Going back to the street stocks, limited late models, and then last year with the late model for car number 23. Will be fun to watch him try to carve his way up through the field in this qualifying event. As the field has doubled up, will come the green flag this time by in the second late model heat race.
Well, it looks like the pace car is going to be diving to the inside underneath the Napa billboard. Remember, they are the official parts store sponsors here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Off turn number 4, nice picture perfect slow start. They come off the turn. Fern gets it wound up. Chris Buffone on the outside. The O'Sullivans have been trying to get this car dialed in, and they make leaps and bounds of adjustments, and it seems to be working. Joe Ham, Grandma Hand Chassis, a part of that team. Meanwhile, Stirk sets back in 3rd.
From 4th on back, led by Cliff Saunders in the 14 as that battle races to turn 2 on your screen right now. In fact, he's breaking away just a bit from Tom Butler in the 4. And Chris Meyer in the 87. Gambacorda in car number 23 has worked his way up to the 6th spot as they come around to complete lap number 2, all chasing the multi-time champion and all-time win leader here at the late models, Tom Fern.
Tom Fern continues to set the pace. Gambacorda backed out of it just for a moment. He's back in the 6th spot. 6 is good for him because that will put him in the preferred handicap as well. Off the turn, here comes Fern, back to the line. Chris Buffone setting in 2nd with that number 07 car. A Tom Rosati tribute car. Down the back straightaway. Take a look at car number 9. The Stirk machine can reel in, close up the gap. There's Saunders, the 14 car. They come off the turn. Kyle, we've got a bid for 2nd, but nobody has been able to close the deal.
Not on Tom Fern, the race leader, who currently breaks away just a bit. That orange number 92. Battle for 2nd is tight among 5 cars. Buffoni, Stirk, Saunders, Meyer, and Kevin Gambacorda rounding out that train as they come back off of turn 4. Still 3 laps to run, and Fern continues to break away at the point. No one stepping out of line through the field. Good run for Buffoni in the 07 car here this evening. Best that we have seen him run toward the front of the field here in a qualifying heat race, holding off some of the division's best behind him.
Good battle right now. Here's Gambacorda, red car to the inside of your screen. Gambacorda tucks it down low. picks up a spot. He's now in the comfort zone. Gambacorta up to the top 5. Good racing, now a bid for second. Here comes Sturck. The phone in the second spot. Side by side, white flag is out. They sway to the left. The phone loses some valuable ground. Here comes Saunders. Green and white car to the inside of your screen. Gambacorta. It's time to go. He pushes the button like he was shot out of a cannon.
Into turn 3 for the final time. Checkered flag waving hot and heavy from the starter stand for Tom Fern in car number 92 to win heat race number 2 here for the late models. Bobby Sturck to finish in the second spot. Cliff Saunders in third. Chris Buffoni fourth, and Kevin Gambacorta rounding out the top 5.
Chris Meyer will finish in the second spot. Dwayne Knoll in the sixth spot, brother. Dwayne Knoll will finish in 7th. Tommy Butler will finish in position number 8. So qualifying action for the late models is now complete. And coming up next is, of course, the fastest division of the night, Stafford Zone, the division that has a buzz. Wherever you go, everybody talks about Stafford's SK Modified Racing. And 3 qualifying rounds will put to the test the best in open wheel modified racing. And here's Kyle Rickey with the starting lineup.
On the pole will be car number 27 from South Windsor, Connecticut, the CNC roofing car, John Sandberg.
Car number 25 is up next, the Fowler's Auto Wrecking Machine. It's a chassis pro car owned by Todd Owen from East Hampton, Connecticut. Car 25, Anthony Flannery.
Field comes back down to the line. Car number 76 will go off next, starting in third. It's a Bowles Chrysler Dodge Deep car, the 76 for Austin Beers.
A little bit of adjusting in the lineup. It is scheduled to be the number 16 car, and that, of course, is the 16 machine, and that car is driven in the
That's
competition.
Dylan Kopech.
Is Dylan Kopech. Now, there is an adjustment in this lineup, so next we go to make up our third row with car 24.
Car number 24 will go to the inside from Hamden, Massachusetts, the Ballyheigie Farm-sponsored car for Mikey Flynn.
6th starting position, car number 22, the Horsepower Hill Farms car. From Berlin, Connecticut, the Michael O'Sullivan and Son prepared car for Keith Rocco.
7th starter, car number 82 from Wolcott, Connecticut, the New England Turf Eastport Feeds PT Watts car for Mike Christopher Jr.
The Florida Connection Mohawk Northeast, number 7 is up next. From New Britain, Connecticut, it is Ryan Narducci.
And rounding out the field, car number 96 from Canton, Connecticut, the Brainerd Motorsports entry for Kurt Brainerd.
So there you have it, a little adjusting of the lineup. Actually, we've seen quite a bit of that going on in this evening's presentation. Brian Narducci driving the 7 New York. Of course, he's part of the legendary Pearl family. Original hometown as a youngster was Colchester/Salem, Connecticut.
And do not see Dylan Kopech on the racetrack as the field comes to the green flag. Anthony Flannery in the jump in the outside lane in car number 25 on Sandberg. Looking to take Mikey Flynn right along with them in car number 24.
Mikey Flynn goes from the outside to the inside. Makes a great move. Takes over the number 1 spot. Off the turn. Meanwhile, running in the tire tracks, Anthony Flannery. They said they found a little something there, and that something is starting to show. Austin Beers traveled 3.5 hours to get here behind the wheel of Tommy Bowles' race car. And here comes Keith Rocco in that 3rd position, the color red, raging like it is, and Michael Christopher's right there with him.
A couple drivers that have battled for the lead much of the season. Rocco in 4th, Christopher in 5th. They single out now a driver battling for the top spot last week, back and forth. The driver of the 7 New York, Brian Narducci, currently in the 6th spot, just out of frame as they come back to the line to complete lap 2.
5 positions is where you need to be. It's crucial. It's essential. Meanwhile, it is Austin Beers getting shuffled back a bit. Michael Christopher, black number 82, dives into the turn. It is Christopher and Austin Beers side by side, and now into your frame comes the number 7 New York car of Brian Narducci. looks to the inside. Austin Beers stuck in the outside lane. The fifth and most important transfer spot is held down by Brian Narducci.
Runs in sixth spot 4 now, challenged by Beers in position 6 in the 76 as the top 3 break away at the point. Flynn, Flannery, Rocco. Here is Keith Rocco out of line in turn 3, right to the bottom of Flannery to take that runner-up spot away.
The Avery-owned race car looks racy, moves into second. Keith Rocco said, if every race was 15 laps this season, I would have won every one of them. But tonight, they found something. Michael O'Sullivan and his son Chris, they come back to the line. White flag is out.
Is there enough time for Rocco to close in on Mikey Flannery and make a move? Time will tell here in the next 15 seconds or so as they race up the back straightaway. Flynn the leader, Rocco is closing, but it looks like we'll run out of time.
Off the turn, here comes Mikey Flynn. He will take down the win. Keith Rocco to finish in second. Anthony Flannery for third. Michael Christopher for fourth. And the very important fifth position goes to Brian Narducci. Who doesn't make it, Kyle, in the handicap?
Austin Beers finished in the 6th spot, John Sandberg in 7th, and Kurt Brainerd rounding out the 8-car field. As we want to thank everybody for those that were tuning in on our YouTube stream and our live Facebook stream. We'll say goodbye at this point and hope that you move over to FloRacing for exclusive coverage from this